All right, good morning, fourth grade. Today, and this week, we are going to be reading nonfiction books, and we're going to be focusing on why authors use a variety of illustrations and graphics to provide us information. And we're going to talk about how that information helps me understand the text better. What does it say that makes me understand what I'm reading a little bit better? So the book I picked out today for us to read is called Extreme Survival. So we're going to talk about survival of animals that is extreme. Like they go either have to survive in a really hard way or a really hard area. So the first thing we usually notice in a nonfiction book is a table of contents. And the table of contents, again, is just going to list the pages that I could find this information on. Extreme adaptations. It's nearly impossible to give It's nearly impossible to imagine a whale living in a desert or a giraffe living at the North Pole. Every animal's features fit the habitat or natural environment where it lives. Over millions of years, animals have changed to better survive in their environments. This gradual change is called adaptation. All animals, including humans, adapt. The best adapted animals live and produce offspring like themselves. These little changes in their bodies or these behaviors are passed on from generation to generation. The better animals adapt to their environments, the better they survive. Some environments, however, have extreme conditions. They might be very cold, very hot, or very dark. Can animals live in such extreme places? Polar bears survive in the freezing Arctic. Rattlesnakes and horned lizards thrive in the hot, dry Death Valley. And lesser-known animals like the blind cavefish survive in the darkest corners of caves in Mexico. What is their secret to survival in extreme habitats? Extreme adaptations. Here I put a note that I want us to look at the heading. Do you notice how here it says extreme adaptations? So that heading is going to just let me know what that section or that paragraph or those couple of pages is going to be about. It's going to give me the topic. I also put a note here for us to notice the photographs. Why do you think the author include the photograph or the illustration? To help me visualize what they are talking about. So maybe I'm not really sure what a thorny dragon might look like in the desert, but now I can imagine what that might look like. In the caption here, we said it helps me understand the photo and its purpose. So the photo's here, and then I have the caption. And the caption is going to tell me the important information in the story or in the picture. Big white bears. Polar bears have many adaptations that help them survive in their extreme Arctic habitat. The big white bears are masters of camouflage. Their thick fur ranges in color from creamy yellow to pure white and blends in perfectly with Arctic snow and ice. The only part of the bear that stands out against the snow is its black nose. Legend has it that when hunting for prey, the polar bear covers its nose with a white paw. Polar bear fur is made of 2 layers, a soft fuzzy undercoat and a long stiff guard hair or outer coat. Both kinds of fur are colorless but appear white when reflecting the light. The bear's skin is actually black to absorb more of the sun's heat. So right here, you notice that we have a photograph and it says, a polar bear waits for a seal to pop its head out of the ice. So the purpose of this picture here is to show me what it looks like when the polar bear is waiting and hunting for its prey. It also here has a close-up. So you notice it has a close-up here of the bear and its foot. It says only a polar bear's nose and foot pads are not covered in fur. So right here, it's giving me a close-up of these pictures, and this little caption here is telling me why that picture is important. All right, so yesterday I did not have the voice to finish recording that book for you. So today we're going to finish reading this book. This chapter is called Hot Spot. So that lets me know that maybe it's an area that the animals have to adapt in really hot conditions. It says desert animals live in extreme environments that are hot and arid or dry. So if we didn't know what arid means in that bold print, right after it, it said the word dry. These animals have adaptations that have the opposite purpose of the adaptations of polar animals. Instead of trying to stay warm, desert animals have to stay cool. How hot can it get in the desert? One of the hottest places on earth is Death Valley in California. Can any animal survive in a place called Death Valley? In fact, hundreds of types of animals do. And you notice right here, it gives us a little picture of a jackrabbit, and it tells us a caption with the picture. The caption is going to help me understand what the author wants me to know about that picture. The desert jackrabbit has 6-inch long ears. Blood vessels in the ears release body heat and help the animal stay cool. So I think the author showed me that picture because he wants me to see how his ears helped him adapt to those hot weather. Also here, it included a map. Why do you think the author included that text feature of a map? I think he included the map right here to show us exactly where Death Valley is. So we have the whole United States, and this one little area is what they consider Death Valley. Again, they give me another picture of a roadrunner and showing me his adaptations and telling me how he survives in that heat. We're going to skip around over here. We notice that the author has included a chart. It says 1 hump or 2. So the title of a chart is very important because it's going to tell me the information that's in that chart. And authors put charts in there to give me extra information, but don't want to write it out in a sentence because it would be harder to read that way. So here I can compare the Arabian camel to the Bactrian camel. This one has 1 hump, this one has 2. This one lives in India, Africa, and this one lives in Central and East Asia. Almost all domesticated today. There's still some wild ones of this kind. So the chart is just going to give me all the extra information that I might need. And sometimes the author wants me to read that because he wants me to know that information. Let's see if we have any other text features that we haven't talked about. Okay, so let's look at the chart here. We talked about why the author gives me an illustration. The illustration helps me visualize what the author's talking about, just like he did right here with this jackrabbit and his ears. He wanted me to see how he's adapted there. A caption right here helps me understand the photograph and the purpose of it. The maps help show me the location. Charts give me information. Bold print. This one is in bold print. Sometimes it's vocabulary words. Sometimes it's because they want me to take notice to emphasize on something. And then we have the heading in usually nonfiction books. And the heading is just going to give me the topic. Sometimes we have a subheading. So they may break it down by types of animals that see with other senses or things like that. So today, you are going to practice using text features and why author includes the text features and how it helps me understand the story better, and practicing using boom cards.